Right now on DIY Gourmet, we're making panko shrimp, fried and butterflied. Now to start off, I'll let you know this is the cooking method because as I've found it, most restaurants and people in general buy the frozen panko shrimp and then end up cooking it at home. And so while there is a totally gourmet way to do this with, making the egg batter and the panko breading after you coat it, what we're going to do is start here. And after that, we'll get to the original version where you make it all from scratch. But in order to facilitate everybody's life and make it all a little bit easier, let's get into it with deep frying, because deep frying is hands down the best way to do it, and cast iron is even better if you have it. So this is my optimum way for how to deep fry the shrimp and bring them from their frozen state to a ready to eat, perfectly crisp state. And in this one, they're actually a little extra crispy. Now the secret for the extra crispy is for cooking them for 3 minutes, 30 seconds. And it's probably about 325 to 350 degrees of the oil, maybe somewhere closer to 300 depending on how intense your burner is or how long you intend to cook the shrimp for. But at about 325 to 350, we're looking at 3 minutes 30 seconds for a very crisp shrimp. Not overcooked, but very crisp. One of the ways that you can tell when the shrimp is going from cooked just right into overcooked territory is when you start to hear the bubbles increase from the fry rate start to become far more rapid, because at that point there's steam and vapor leaking out of the frying shell that the shrimp were previously in, and that means the shrimp inside is boiling. And so by that point you definitely want to have it out. And in taking it out of the oil, one of the most effective ways that I have found to do so is to have a mesh sieve in one hand and then wooden chopsticks in the other. In doing so, you can preserve the integrity of the delicate shrimp and still be able to have it draining well without having to jostle the shrimp back and forth in order to shake it off in a fry basket or inside of a pair of tongs, depending on how you're doing it. And if you happen to wish to have the shrimp be a little less crispy, then all you have to do is scale back the time that they're inside of the oil. It can stay nice and hot still, but you'll leave it in for 3 minutes instead of 3 minutes 30 seconds. And what that'll do is give it a chance to finish the reheating process without losing any of the vapor and keeping the outside shell of the breading crispy while not being too crunchy. And now that we've covered timing and handling, let's get into heat control. Because when you're dropping a frozen item into oil, it's basically putting an ice cube into warm water. It's going to drop the ambient temperature of the oil. So when you're about to drop shrimp, or anything else for that matter, into the oil, you have to know where your heat point is at, and you're going to want it a little higher than where it says to cook it, because if you drop multiples in, I'm talking 3 or 4 or 5 depending on the size, and even more so if it's one big one or two big ones, then you're going to have to compensate for that change in heat, and it's going to be rapid. So you're going to have your burner underneath ready in order to be able to maintain the heat needed to counteract that drastic drop in temperature that happens when you put a frozen item inside of hot oil. And in doing so, that's the key to crispiness regardless of time. The rest is just how crispy or how juicy you'd like it. So when that shrimp is done, take it out, get it in that sieve, shake it off, and look what you've got there. A beautifully deep fried butterflied panko shrimp ready to be consumed. Do it yourself gourmet. Thanks for watching, and please feel free to check out the description below for more information. And of course, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and or join. Oh, even the website is starting to get revamped. doityourselfgourmet.com.